Yeah, people is an absolute like phenomenon to me. Even if it's not a phenomenon to everybody else, it's a very cool project for me, man. Because just like my first two records. Now my last record was a live record, and so that's a totally different process. You get all the music down, and then you record it all in one night. But this is like my first projects where, as you come up with the songs, it's almost like journal entries almost, you come up with the song and then you record it and then you kind of step back and look at what you've done and you see if there was a theme or a thread running through it. And, maybe you write a couple more songs knowing that theme. But 2019 for me was just a crazy year, man. It was an incredibly successful year, awards, TV, and all that other stuff. But personally, man, it was the worst year ever, like the most challenging year ever. It was last year of my 20s. And man, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about life. I learned a lot about women. I learned a lot about culture. And, I really had to figure some stuff out, man. I had to really kind of divorce myself from some old ways of thinking and maybe even some old people and move on to a different place. I was, one thing in particular, I was giving people and their opinions, their words, their actions way too much weight in my mind. I'm talking about from my mom all the way to a fan that I've never met. I was taking their opinions a little too seriously. And so people for me was not really about people. It was about me. It was about me dealing with people, putting them in their right place. Yeah, they're going to say what they're going to say. They're going to do what they're going to do. But what do I do in response to it? And so everything about that season, I put into my music. Now, when you look into 2020, when it was actually released, it looked like we planned it all along. Some people like, hey, man, it looked like you did this on purpose. Visual album and everything, man. None of it was, none of it did we envision would be coming out in some weird time like this. But God knew. And he gave us some incredible words. He gave me some incredible words to be a soundtrack of helping people get free even while we're on lockdown. Sometimes we get our physical situation mixed up with our actual spiritual situation. If we are rich, then we feel like we're rich spiritually. If we are feeling all happy, we feel like God is happy with us. On the flip side, if we feel sad, we feel like God left us. But I'm telling you, there's an opportunity sometimes to have a spiritual reality that even your physical world doesn't seem to show. And so we're in this moment where we're all locked up and stuff. We can't go, we can't do nothing. But this is a great time to get free from all those things that held you back. Free from all those people and opinions that held you back, whether it was a dad that wasn't around or some fans that just like to troll on Instagram. This is a great time to get free from people. I tried to go for that connection in every single song, but there's one that I can really point to, the meaning and everything. Sometimes your prayers are almost like questions. They're like requests. And then sometimes you get an answer that maybe you're not always expecting. And so if my prayer request was help me deal with people, the answer was the last song on the EP, which is Grace. The answer to humanity, it's Grace. The answer to dealing with people who are crazy, hating, self-righteous, racist, whatever. At the end of the day, the answer for all of us is grace. It is the great, element of Christianity to me is the fact that none of us deserve, none of us deserve much. None of us can call ourselves fully holy and perfect and righteous and always good all the time. None of us. Whether you are in jail or you on top of the world, none of us are actually good all the time. We needed a gift of grace. And so that song is very important to me, especially when you put it on this particular situation that we're in right now. There's some grace that really needs to be spread around this country. There's some empathy that needs to be injected before we get a vaccine for COVID. We need an injection of empathy, an injection of see it from somebody else's perspective, an injection of getting in their shoes and try to figure some things out. And so at the end of the day, man, being surrounded, really getting to record that song with a choir, which I've never done before. All of that, man, just lends itself to a very special experience, recording and writing. And I'm really blessed at the message and how it kind of answers my initial prayer request of God, can you deliver us from people?